Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Actors Area. I'm your host, Sean Robert Grant. Happy to be here. Happy to be sharing this time with you. And I want to thank everybody out there who has shown support, who has benefited from everything that I've been able to share here. I just want you to know that, when I decide to do this, I do this with love, kindness, and just pure joy in my heart to ensure that at least one person, I used to feel like, I gotta, and I even did a podcast on it a while back, how it's going to affect or impact 10 million different actors around the world. But what I realized is that one person at a time is perfect. One person at a time. See, this kind of leads me to the idea that if you can just impact one casting director at a time, one agent at a time, one director, one producer at a time, that's all it takes to put you on a trajectory of being your absolute very best in this industry. And instead of thinking, it's hard because social media can influence us to get trapped in the idea that we've got to get everybody to like us. We've got to get everybody to sway in our favor. And it's just unrealistic. All you need is one person, the right person, to like you, to love you. And that is possible for each and every person on this planet, to have that one person that is so enamored that they decide that they are going to pour into your life and help you to realize your success. And for me, it's just that one person, that one actor, that one actress, that one singer. I find like non-actors are listening to this podcast because it's a bit of a crossover in the sense of, everything that I do is to help you to live a better life, not just have an amazing career, but to live a better life. And that's so important. That's so important for everybody. So what that says, or what that leads me to, is the idea that you've got to follow your own path of love to find success as an actor or actress or performer or whatever else you're doing. But I've immersed myself in this concept of love. If you go to my Instagram or my Facebook and you see hashtag I love to use so much is choose love. Make an effort. Decide every single day of your life, every moment that you remember, that you are going to choose love in everything and with everyone. And I promise you, your life will transform in such a rapid way that things you hadn't seen before are now opening up to you because you can look at them with love's eyes. Okay? So you may be thinking, well, how in the world does this relate to me as an actor? Well, get into that right now. So, how do I put it? It's like 10 thoughts just rushed in my head. I just want to say, we live in a society, and if you live in the Western world is basically the world of capitalists or capitalism. And the concept is always more, more, more. Always has been. More, more, more. I need more. And that more turns into greed, right? And so what I want to sort of just evolve in you, or to at least be a catalyst to help you to evolve, I want you to release that idea of more. And I say this from complete experience because for the longest time, it was always about how many roles that I can book per year. It was always quantity. We live in such a quantity-based society that everything is like more. Once again, more, more, more. You know, it gets back to that. But we have to reconfigure our idea of what that means, but more importantly, what means the most to us. And I can give you a perfect example right now. Actually, I'll give you two examples. Let's say this year so far, you've booked 12 to 13 different jobs, but they're all shitty. You booked 12 to 13 really shitty jobs because you're just submitting, auditioning, going for this, going for that, just so you can get more on your resume, more on your IMDb, more, that you can share with people. Well, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, right? And that's fine because that's how we all are, right? We all have been programmed to think that more is better. I have this conversation with my wife all the time, and we're always thinking, got to get more, got to get more, got to do more. But in actuality, and the other example I was going to give you, which is a perfect example, just imagine so for me, I have my soulmate. I've been married, happily married, for almost 8 years now. Or is that right? 7 years. Been together for 8 years. But anyway, we are extremely happy. And at one point in time, before I met my wife, I had the opportunity to have that more concept when it came to dating women. And so I had every option available to me to date, to sleep with, to indulge in the whole process of being with all these different women. And I mean, this is a whole nother podcast in itself, but the point I desire to make for you is it's not about more. Like, all that does is spread my emotional energy so thin. All that does is take away the vitality that I have because I'm spread so thin by indulging in so much when all I need is just that one person, that one entity that gives me everything. That gives me everything, right? So, in getting back to the acting side of things, what I've done in my life is I've stopped thinking how many jobs I can book. Instead, I started thinking, let me book the right position. Let me book the most quality job that comes under grace in perfect ways, that is not only enjoyable to be on set, but has amazing producers, amazing directors, amazing crew. It pays well. It works in unison with my schedule and me doing other creative things that I love to do. It empowers me to be my very best. It helps me to grow. You see where I'm going with this? Because I'm following the path of true love, because this is love. This is what comes from my heart, not just something that I'm just saying, oh, okay, you know what? I can make an easy buck. Let me go do this. And then, in some cases that differs, especially if, you're attempting to make your ends meet and stuff like that. And we've all been there at that time and place. But at the same time, when I think of it, I'm so proud of myself because I had to work in order to remove myself from a place of thinking more is better. More is where it has to be. And another issue with that, especially when it comes to actors, is that if you don't book anything, all of a sudden you go into this spiral of defeat and you're upset and you're feeling like you know, you're doubting your self-worth. You know, it's so interesting to see when people get so much of something, but they don't have the consciousness to handle it. And it happens with everything. It happens with money. It happens with sex. It happens with success. It happens with, you know, so many different things. People think quantity is the highest ideal when in actuality, it's just about quality. It's about quality. And for me, I love people who come up to me and ask, well, how many roles have you booked? Or what are you working on? And I just say, basically, I'm working on helping every single actor and person I come into contact with to experience more love, to be greater, to find what they're truly looking for from their heart's desire, not what they think other people need to feel like they need to get, right? And it that resonates from a place that removes desperation, it removes greed, it removes the need for approval, and it says that love is guiding my path, right? I subscribe to so many different acting teachers and, you know, actors out there who are like putting stuff out. And, you know, the stuff is absolutely amazing. But one of the key things that I find in everybody, and I mean, you can just, not everybody, you know, so I correct myself. I stand corrected because I can't say everybody, but in my experience, and you know what? I just realized something. It's probably been like that in my experience because that's what I used to feel. And what I felt was the more you book, the better, more successful actor you are. When in actuality, it's the quality that you book. Because how many times we see actors work all their lives and then they get their big break and then they're working like crazy. I mean, like 5 to 6 movies a year, like feature films per year, which, you know, would take 8 to 9 months or so, but they're worn out, they're tired, they don't feel like they're connected to the material that they're actually doing. And so instead of quality, right? Instead of saying, you know, let's say you're an A-lister. Instead of saying, you know what, I'm going to do this one movie that resonates with my heart so much and pays me, let's say $1 million, $2 million, you know, and then you get a 10% kickback being a producer on it if you choose to, in addition to the residuals that come with that film as well. But that film covers all of your boxes. It checks off all of your boxes. And you find yourself feeling so good as you like go into this film and as you do everything, as you put yourself in a position to like perform and be your very best. And that becomes the only film that you do the entire year. Becomes the only film that you do the entire year. And so when I think of it in those terms, that's absolutely amazing. That's absolutely amazing. One, you basically done all that you need to do for that entire year from a fiscal standpoint, from a financial standpoint. And two, you create something that is going to last, because if there's love present in like a residing deep love that connects to yourself and connects to the rest of the people watching it, that movie will succeed and will be around for a long time. It never fails. As opposed to saying, you know what, let me get this 10 movie, $100 million deal where I do all these C-list films that are basically with scripts thrown together. I don't even believe in the material. It's not even real to me, but you know what? I'm collecting a check. So, you know, I got to do it anyway. But the problem is that if you're greedy, and most people are, if you're greedy, you're just going to think that you need more. When in actuality, what you should be looking for is quality. Because when you pick quality, Okay? When you pick quality in everything, you realize that all your needs are satisfied. You realize that you're abundant because of that quality. I'm abundant because I choose to be with my wife and not sleep around. I'm abundant because I choose to select scripts and projects that uplift me, that help me to be a greater person, and that pay me to where I don't have to think about it, that cover all of the requirements and prerequisites that I need. That enriches my life much more than if I was working on 5 or 6 or 7 or 8 different projects that were just okay, that were maybe not a 10 on a scale from 0 to 10. And so this is what I urge you to look at now, and to not feel inferior if somebody else is booking so many different films and doing so many different things from a quantity standpoint. As an actor, as an actress, as a performer, I desire you, and it's your choice because we all have free will, but I desire you to look at things from a quality standpoint and not so much from the standpoint of book. Sounded like a chicken there for a second. But I promise you, if you do this and you follow your own path, use that objective and follow your own path, and don't get caught up in thinking that you need to have what everybody else has, you will succeed, and you will know that you're a success in your heart because you won't have to prove anything to anybody else. And that will seal the deal, my dears. Thank you so much for joining me today here on the Actors Area. It has been an absolute pleasure, as always. We'll talk soon. Take care.